Hey, welcome. It is management. It's not management Monday. I'm gonna cut that out of the video. It is stand-up Monday. I hope everyone had a really good weekend. And I think what we're gonna do is just gonna follow the usual format. I'm very aware of the fact that this is gonna be the last week for a lot of the team members. So we need to kind of bear that in mind and make sure that everything is tied up and ready to get handed over in a nice way. Mia has already reached out to me advising that she is ready to do a demo or review of the notice of limited appearance. So I know that that's one that we need to do. We need to do the civil action cover sheet, which I'm hoping to do tomorrow. And then the remaining teams, we need to have a look and see how everyone's getting on. Okay, so Eric, you're first on my screen. So Eric, Sam, and is Mark on the scroll? I can't see. No, just you two. Could you give us an update on where you're at? And then we will go from there.
Everything's going pretty good. Hold on, there's people yelling on my street. It's very distracting. I don't know, maybe they're
okay
because the rain has halted. I don't know.
Okay.
In any case, I was able to merge my edits with the master, so that's pretty awesome.
Good job.
I did that by the first time I tried. I had a lot of couldn't merge automatically, so I reworked it into a fresh pull from the master, and then it merged without problems.
Is that I'm not an expert in this field. Is that somebody who is an expert?
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
Okay, perfect.
Great way to do it.
Good job, Eric. Okay.
Want help? I've done it successfully, so hit me up.
Oh, perfect. Could you just for everyone on the call, could you just explain, like in one sentence, can you just say what you did again, please?
Yeah. So there was a master version that my teammates had added, and I wanted to add my code to the master version, and I tried just simply just adding it I made a new branch and then added my code, and then tried to merge my new branch with the master, but they were very different. So it kind of confused GitHub and made me do it manually. So what I did was I made a new project in Playground and pulled the master into that new project, and then just worked my changes into that fresh code by hand, and then pushed that to a new branch, and then merged those two branches without issue.
That's a great way to problem solve.
Yeah, so, I completely forgot to include that step in the merging documentation, so we should get together and or maybe if you want to add it just as text in the text section as a suggestion, so we can, suggest edit as opposed to edit. Yeah.
And then you can submit a pull request, as it were. I know, not a real pull request. I'm trying to make a joke.
Sure. Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then just in terms of your actual form and the interview progress, Mark and Sam will be stepping away at the end of this week. Is that correct?
Yeah, end of this week.
So, and I think Sam, you took responsibility for the team was it Eric, on making the issues?
That's me. Yeah.
Just so that we know, because Eric, I imagine that you would want to stay on with this interview and keep on kind of refining it and getting it to MVP, and then after that we'll see where, if we want to go post MVP or if we want to put you on another interview to get it to the MVP stage. So are you feeling comfortable that by the end of this week everything's going to have to be handed over from Mark and Sam?
Yeah.
Okay.
Totally.
And then how far away do you think that you are from having another review?
We're ready to demo any day of this week, whatever works out best.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make notes in my OneNote. I feel like an influencer, just name in my notepad. Okay, I'm going to make a note here of people who are ready to do a demo this week, because we need to try and structure it based on how long it's going to take. So I think this is going to be still one of your first demos, right? Which generally means it's going to take longer. So I would want to budget yours by yourself that day. So Sam, Eric, Mark, and you're doing the affidavit of legitimacy supplement.
Yes.
Okay. So I'll draw up a little timetable that we can all abide by And I have you guys, everybody's there for until the end of the week, right?
The only day I won't be available is Thursday.
Got it. Okay. I'll make a note of that. Okay, perfect. Thanks, guys. Okay, and then Derek, we will assign you a form. Vinny and Mia, so you guys have been working on the notice of limited appearance. I realize your generic motion for family law, which we are going to call the proper name, which is the temporary motion for temporary emergency order or something like that.
I have no idea.
Okay, we just call it the GMA for now. So
Okay.
that hasn't been pushed to the test server. Am I correct in saying that?
I also have no idea.
Michelle, you're shaking your head.
That's something else, but has it been installed to the test server? Did that happen with Quentin, or was there a tutorial that you followed to install it to the test server?
No.
Okay, so then what I
Okay.
think
That's
sorry.
a good answer.
So what Aubrey has done is Aubrey recorded her session with Quentin in which they installed it on the test server and installed, the marriage without delay form. And she also documented it really well. So I was wondering if I could drop you the documentation and the video and see if you two could try and upload and try and install yours on the test server and then maybe comment on the video or the documentation if anything is confusing or something like that.
For sure.
Yeah, that works.
Okay, so I will drop you that video and documentation. And then we can get a feedback. Maybe you can try it before stand up tomorrow and we can try and get some feedback. And it would be very beneficial if you could, while you're going through the documentation particularly, if there's anything that's confusing, you can just flag it so that we can iterate and try and improve on that.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll send that to you after this meeting. And then in terms of the notice of limited appearance, you guys are ready to do a demo of that. I'd say that it's just from my memory, it's had a number of demos already. Do you think this one will be a longer one or a shorter one?
It's changed a bit.
Longer. We'll just err on the side of okay.
Caroline smiling.
Okay, so we'll budget a full session for that. Okay. Okay. Is there anything else you guys need to add? That was just kind of, any updates from your side?
That's it for me.
No.
Vinny? Nothing from you?
No.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so we're missing Aubrey this week. She is first ever new job. I hope everyone wished her. So we've got Blake and Matt here who will be, you guys are handing off, is it midweek or end of this week?
Yeah, so I'm going to be here, or tomorrow's kind of my last day, but I can be available if there's any questions on Wednesday. And I know Matt said he was going to be here for most of the week. So our goal for this week was to kind of finish up that the second round of testing on mobile devices, because in the past, I think we were able to do it in a couple days or 3. So
that'll be fantastic.
Yeah, we wanted to get that done because I know Aubrey's staying on and she's going to still keep the form going. So.
Okay, perfect. So that's your goal for the end of this weekend, making issues as well, making sure that anything that's suggested is captured, because I know that your form has been installed on, your interview has been installed on a test server.
Correct. And we just posted our testing to the testing channel. So. Right.
So guys, if anybody's here that has a loose, what's it called? A loose, I don't know. If anyone has a loose end?
Loose end?
Yeah, if anyone's at a loose end and looking for something to do, please could you go to the testing channel and just have a look at Matt's message about Matt and Blake's testing that they need done, which will greatly help them in wrapping up before they hand over. Okay, good stuff, guys. Okay, then we've got Jason and Eleni. How are you guys doing? It's handover mid or end of this week, and none of you are staying on. So this is Jason and Eleni. Where's James? Am I going crazy?
It doesn't look like he's in this call.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's the end of the week. At least that's for, I'm here through the end of the week, and I believe
perfect.
the same for James and Eleni. But yeah, we're just working with Caroline. She's giving us some tips and advice on how we could update the code, and then we're going to do that over the next couple days and meet with her one time, like one final time, just to make sure that it's all good in that aspect.
So from our side, we need to have one more review while you guys are still here, so that we can capture any issues that we basically, what, like, for example, what Kate and Caroline and Michelle and I did. And guys, thank you very much for giving up an hour on this Sunday. And I think Michelle, it was a lot longer. Alex Feig, who's handing over by the end of this week, he did his demo, and then we basically made notes, and he was going to transfer those into issues, so that the next person who picks up that interview knows exactly what to do. So because none of you are staying on, we need to have that kind of distinct, kind of like what Sinead and Finola did as well. We will do a demo, and instead of thinking, okay, I'm going to have to implement these changes, you just think, I'm going to have to document these changes, and we'll go from there. So we'll need to do a review with you guys, and I would want to budget it a little bit longer, just because of the fact that you might have questions about how to document it or stuff like that. So that's the complaint for contempt.
That also, those guys need to meet with Michelle. They updated their GitHub, but the file went into the level above the package. So I was editing the wrong file, wondering why these edits hadn't been made that I thought were so obvious. And it turns out they were made, but I was looking at the wrong file because it was at the, you know what I mean, above the doc assemble package.
Yeah.
So you just was in the root. I think you mean it
the
was
root,
in
exactly.
a folder.
Yeah.
A folder for it.
Yeah. And I don't know, did you upload the addendum?
I'm not sure if we have. I don't recall specifically doing it, so I assume maybe not.
So just to clarify, you don't want to interact with GitHub without docassemble to change files. You only change files in docassemble and push them to the repository. With a commit, with one of the commits. But we can talk about that later. Just ping me to
so
remind me.
you
Let's make
guys need a little bit of TLC from Michelle on that, and because also if you're calling that template, you can't run the YAML file because you're calling the template. So you need to make a template or find it or figure out something. So I think that would be a good thing to do with Michelle.
So prior to having a demo, could you guys please meet with Michelle and try and we see this chicken on Caroline's screen. So prior to that, can you guys meet with Michelle and try and get that all sorted out? So perhaps we can have a demo for you kind of later this week, in the second half of this week. And then I just think, if you could just reach out to Michelle and see if you can rectify what Caroline's talking about there.
All right. Yeah, that works.
Okay. And then also, again, just making sure that your issues are all kind of, that your issues are looking good, so that the next person that picks it up is able to do so in a seamless manner. Okay. Okay, and then Mike, how are you and Tyler doing on the? I'd say that, I mean, I know you were waiting for maybe some language changes on the on the Caroline, on the motion to vacate default judgment in the housing context. Is there anything that you're waiting for there, or is that ready to go to the test server?
He's waiting for Gordon and me to finish negotiating. I'm working on 3 projects with Gordon, and so Gordon picks which is his priority, so we have to get back to that.
Okay, so that would be great if you guys could do that this week, because Mike, I can't remember which one you're doing. Are you doing lab or which how are you staying on, in what capacity?
I'm in the lit lab.
So does that mean that it's a seamless, David, Mike can start working again next week, the following week?
It'll be reasonably seamless.
Maybe a week or two off, but it's not the 6 weeks wait between.
No.
Which class? Sorry.
Will he want to concentrate on making issues or on helping with the testing on the other form? Is there a sense of that? do we think? We can discuss it later.
Yeah, why don't we just talk about it at the management meeting?
Okay. So Mike, for now, and then you also did a demo of the consumer default, the motion to vacate there, or limited notice or something like that. So is there anything else? I remember we made some comments there. Was there anything for you to do specifically on that? Are you working on that right now?
Yeah, we talked about combining that and the
right. That was
COVID-19 one. So I'm working on that right now. It's not too bad. I'm just gonna have to go through like language and how we should just like explain it to people and phrase it. But other than that, I'm combining everything right now and shouldn't be too much longer until it's ready.
Okay.
Was it also, Michael, was it also on your templates where there were empty box, you had a docx, was it yours that has a docx template?
Yeah.
And there were sort of paragraphs that didn't need to be in there because it wasn't checked?
Yeah. It was the signature. It was the signature one, right? Where
he's looking blank.
I don't remember this.
No, I mean, it's like, so for example, I'm gonna use the default to vacate judgment in the housing. But so for example, you have landlord locked me out, landlord shut off utilities, landlord interfered with quiet enjoyment. And if your user in your interview only says shut off utilities or only says locked out, then you don't need the two other, it's not like a PDF. You don't need the two other boxes, the two other lines with an empty box. You just don't need them at all. And I'm trying to remember how the consumer one.
So it was in the signature block where you had some kind of like end of.
Oh yeah, in the signature block, yeah, we had an issue like that. But
you have a fix for that, Caroline?
Yeah, but I'm just talking about in the complaint itself, in the motion itself, forgot what it is now.
no, I don't think we had an issue with that. I think what you're thinking
All right.
was
Somebody had those, and I can't remember who it was. So
yeah,
it might be that we were talking about combining the two versions of that motion, the COVID and non-COVID specific
no,
ones.
we were, but I'm saying that on somebody's docx template, there were lines that did not apply, and so instead of just not seeing them, it showed up with an empty box next to it, which is something that you have to do on a PDF because it's already there. But in a docx, you don't have to do it. There's no point in having it there.
I think you're thinking of just the motion to vacate default housing, which is the first interview I'm doing. Yeah, that's because that's something that we can fix in that.
Yeah. Okay. I knew I'd seen it somewhere, and I just couldn't remember where, and I thought it was okay.
Though it'd be worth asking an SME if judges would find it comforting to have the rest there, but
no.
Okay.
These are all
Yeah.
forms that Caroline
tactic.
helped edit. They're not official forms.
Got it.
PDF forms, yeah, sure, but not docx.
Right, exactly, especially with emotion, because emotion is basically something that's just not handwritten, but it's
you created it by
bespoke, as it were.
Okay, so that covers everyone. Is there any questions that anybody else has, or anything they want to raise, kind of going into this last week, or this transition week? Should I correctly term it?
David's got his thumbs up.
That was for the transition week language. Yeah.
Oh yes, Jody. Hi Jody. How amazing is that bay window? Okay,
New exciting window.
I know. If that's all for stand up, we're gonna transition over to Management Monday, and we'll say goodbye to the majority of you guys. Everybody is welcome to stay on. But yeah, if you don't want to.
Yeah, the cake is baked.